I heard the shovel even before I understood where I was. Thud, thud, thud. Each sound landed like a countdown. Then I felt it. Sand. Cold, gritty sand falling on my face. I tried to inhale and my mouth filled up. I tried to scream and the scream turned into dust. I was still breathing when my husband covered me with earth. I heard him above me. Close. So close. And then his voice come like he was ordering coffee. Now it's finally over.
If you think I'm exaggerating, if you think this is one of those fake internet stories, then listen. Because I'm going to tell you exactly how my own husband tried to bury me alive. And how he forgot. One small thing that saved my life.
People used to call us a couple goals. I used to smile when they said it. I used to repost it. I used to believe it. My husband, Daniel, had this clean look, soft eyes, calm voice, the kind of man you trust instantly. The kind of man strangers asked for directions because he looked safe. He would open doors, hold my hand in public, text me little things like, "Did you eat? How's your day? What time should I pick you?" And for a long time, it felt like love. Real love. We met when I was 23. I was working 2 jobs then. Not because I wanted luxury, but because I wanted stability. I grew up watching my mother struggle. I promised myself I would never be trapped. Daniel came into my life like comfort, like warmth, like a soft blanket on a cold night. He wasn't loud. He wasn't dramatic. He didn't shout. He didn't insult. That's why I didn't notice the danger. Because the most dangerous people don't always look like danger. Sometimes they look like your husband. Sometimes they kiss your forehead, then turn around and calculate your life like a business plan. Sometimes they say, "I love you," but mean, "I own you." But back then, I didn't know. Back then, I was still calling us a blessing. The first crack didn't come with shouting. It came with strangers. The first time, I was alone at home. A knock on the door. Not polite. Not gentle. A knock that sounded like impatience. I opened it a little. 2 men. No smiles. No warmth. Just eyes that looked past me into the house. One of them asked, "Is Daniel home?"
We need to talk.
I said,
now.
"He's not." The man's mouth moved like he was chewing anger. "Tell him we came." I asked, "Who are you?" He didn't answer. He just looked at me slowly, like he was studying the price of my fear. Then he said, "If he doesn't settle it, we will." And they left. Just like that. I stood in the doorway for a long time, trying to convince myself it was nothing. Trying to convince myself it wasn't danger. When Daniel came home, I told him. I expected him to be shocked. Confused. Maybe scared. But Daniel did something strange. He laughed.
That's hilarious.
I know,
Not a big laugh. Not a relieved laugh. A small laugh, like a man who just remembered something he hoped he could forget. He said, "It's nothing. Don't worry." I said, "They threatened us." He said, "They talk too much." I said, "Daniel, who are they?" He kissed my forehead.
Figure it out.
Promise?
Then he walked past me.
Back soon.
Like my question was a fly. Like my fear was an inconvenience. I remember standing there, watching him remove his shoes calmly, and something in my chest tightened. Because a normal person would not become. A normal person would explain. A normal person would reassure me with details. But Daniel reassured me with emptiness. And emptiness is where secrets live. Over the next weeks, the nothing began to show itself. Daniel started taking calls outside. He started hiding his phone screen. He started leaving the house early and returning late with excuses that didn't connect. Sometimes he would come back with sweat on his temple, but he didn't smell like work. He smelled like panic. One night, I woke up at 2:17 a.m. I know the time because the clock glowed in the dark. 2:17. I reached for Daniel. The bed was cold beside me. I sat up.
Hello, is anyone there?
The house felt too quiet. Not peaceful quiet. The kind of quiet that makes your body alert. I walked to the window, and I saw him. Outside. In the backyard. With a shovel. Digging. At 2:17 in the morning. At first my brain refused to accept it. I blinked hard. But there he was. Shovel in his hands. Moving like he had practiced it. Dig. Lift. Throw. Dig. Lift. Throw. His shoulders rose and fell like he was working on something important. Something urgent. And I remember thinking, why is my husband digging at midnight? I ran to the back door and opened it. Cold air hit my skin. Daniel. He froze. The shovel stopped midair. He turned slowly. His face was blank for 1 second, then he smiled. Too fast. Too fast. He said, "You scared me." I said, "What are you doing?" He looked at the ground. Then at me. Then he shrugged like it was normal. "I'm fixing something." I said, "Fixing what?" He said, "Just go inside. It's cold." And I stood there, watching him, and the feeling came again. That tightness. That warning. But I still loved him. So I did what many people do when they love someone who confuses them. I believed the lie, because the truth looked too ugly to hold. The next day, Daniel went out again. I stayed home. But my mind didn't stay calm. It kept replaying the shovel. The dirt. The darkness. That night I told myself,
What is going on?
I was going to check. Not because I wanted to invade his privacy, but because I wanted to protect myself. There's a difference.
Not here.
I opened his drawer.
I have to
I didn't even know what I was looking for. Receipts. Letters. Anything. My fingers shook as I moved papers aside.
What is this?
Then I saw
I
it.
don't understand.
A document in a clear sleeve.
What is
Clean.
this?
Official.
My closet?
My name printed in bold. I pulled it out. Life insurance. My stomach dropped. I didn't understand it at first.
I have to check this.
I read it once.
It all makes sense
Then
now.
again. Then slower. The numbers looked like a foreign language, but one thing was very clear. There was a payout.
This
A
was in
big
my
payout.
closet?
And the beneficiary was Daniel. I felt heat rush into my face. My ears started buzzing like my body was trying to block reality.
I have to check.
I checked the date.
It all makes
It was
sense now.
recent. Very recent. My mind tried to negotiate. Maybe it's old. Maybe it's for both of us.
I can feel it.
Maybe it's normal.
What's going on?
But it wasn't. And it didn't feel normal.
I can feel it.
It felt like a plan.
What's going on?
I sat on the bed holding that paper. And suddenly I remembered the men at the door. The midnight digging.
This can't
The
be
hidden
real.
phone.
I have to
The
check
fake
this.
smile.
It all
Everything
makes sense
connected, like puzzle pieces that form a picture you never wanted to see. I wanted to confront him. I wanted to scream. But something deeper spoke inside me.
now. I don't understand.
Be smart. Because smart people don't confront danger alone. Smart people gather proof. Smart people survive. So I took a photo. Then another. I sent it to my best friend, Mira. Mira is the kind of friend who hears your silence. The kind of friend who notices your eyes changing. I texted her. If anything happens to me, check Daniel. I found an insurance policy. I'm scared. Then I deleted the sent notification from my screen. I put the document back exactly the way I found it. And I tried to breathe. But breathing felt like lying. That evening, Daniel came home with flowers. Flowers. He hadn't bought flowers in months. His smile was wide. His voice was sweet. Too sweet. He said, "I missed you." I forced a smile. I said, "How was your day?" He said, "Long. But I'm here now." He went into the kitchen.
Oh?
And I heard him
What's the
cooking.
occasion?
Just because.
Cooking. Daniel doesn't
That smells
cook.
incredible.
Not like
Almost
that.
there, just a little more stirring.
Not with music playing.
Perfect.
Not with joy.
Smells incredible.
I walked into the kitchen quietly. He turned and said, "Sit down. I want to treat my wife." My wife. He said it like a performance. Like he was practicing the role of a good husband. The food smelled good. He poured wine. He held my glass. He watched me like he was waiting for something. I lifted the glass.
Change everything.
My hand paused. He raised his eyebrows. "Why?" I said, "Just thinking." He chuckled. "Don't overthink. Drink." I took a sip. The taste was normal. But the air felt wrong. He kept talking. Random things. Stories that didn't matter. He touched my hand too much. He looked at my face too long. Then he stood and came behind me and kissed the side of my head. I froze slightly. He whispered, "You're safe with me." Those words, those exact words, made my stomach turn. Because people who make you safe don't need to announce it. People who make you safe don't say it like a warning. I tried to stand up. But the room tilted. The chair felt like it was moving. My eyes blinked hard. Daniel's voice sounded far away. "Are you okay?" I tried to speak. My mouth felt thick. My tongue felt heavy. I stood up. Then my knees buckled. The last thing I remember was Daniel catching me and holding me like a man holding a problem he created. His face above mine. Calm. Almost relieved. And then, darkness. I woke up. And at first I thought I was still dreaming. Because everything was black. Not night black. Not lights of black. This was closed black. Like the world was shut. I tried to move my arms. Pain shot through my wrist. Rope. My hands were tied. I tried to move my legs. They wouldn't move. Something heavy pressed against them. My heart started racing. My breath got faster. I inhaled. And I smelled dirt. Wet dirt. Fresh dirt. I swallowed, and my throat tasted like soil. That's when panic punched me. I tried to scream. My voice hit something. It bounced back. I realized I was inside something. A box. A tight wooden space. I pressed my palms out. Wood. All around me. I pushed. Nothing. The pressure of earth above me was heavy. My chest tightened. And then, I heard it. A sound above. Footsteps. Then scraping. Then, thud. Thud. Thud.
It's finally over.
My body went cold. Because I understood. Not slowly. Not gently. I understood in a single violent moment. Daniel buried me. I screamed until my throat burned. I kicked until my knees ached. The box didn't move. The dirt didn't move. My breath began to shorten. I tried to control it. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. But fear is not logical. Fear doesn't listen. Fear makes your body fight even when fighting makes it worse. I heard Daniel's voice. Muffled.
Now it's finally
Above me. He said, "I'm sorry." I froze.
Now it's
I
finally
screamed, Daniel. Please. I heard him inhale. Like he was pretending to feel pain. Then he said the words that broke something inside me forever. You left me no choice. No choice. As if my life was a decision forced on him. As if my death was my fault. I cried so hard my face hurt. I said, I'll help you. Whatever it is. Just stop. But Daniel didn't stop. The shovel continued. Then the sound changed.
finally over.
Sand began to fall on the box. The air became thicker. Harder to breathe. I coughed. Dirt entered my mouth. I swallowed it by mistake and gagged.
My child, hold
My
this
mind
one.
started flashing memories.
It will guide you.
My mother's face, my own wedding, the first time Daniel said I love you. And I realized something horrifying. The man who once held my hand was now sealing my coffin. And he was doing it quietly. Like it was just a task. Like it was taking out the trash. Minutes felt like hours. I don't know how long I was down there. Time behaves differently when you think you're dying. Your thoughts stretch. Your fear stretches. Your breathing becomes a small thin thread you're scared will snap. I tried to stay calm. I forced my lungs to slow. I remembered something my mother taught me when I was small. When you're in trouble, do the smallest thing you can do. So I did the smallest thing. I listened. Above me. Silence. No more digging. No more footsteps. Daniel had left. My throat tightened. So this is it. Then, I heard something else. Faint. Very faint. A vibration. A buzzing sound. At first I thought it was my mind. But it came again. My phone. My phone was still in my pocket. Daniel tied my hands. But he forgot to take my phone. My fingers were tied close together. But I could still move them a little. Just a little. I twisted my wrist. Pain. Rope cutting skin. I fought through it. I reached down with my tied hands and felt my pocket. The phone was there. My hands shook. I pressed the side button with my knuckle. The screen lit. Quick light. I blinked tears. No signal. My heart sank. I turned the phone slightly. 1 bar. Then gone. Then 1 bar again. It wasn't stable. But it was something. I opened my emergency screen. My finger didn't cooperate. I tried again. Again. My breathing got faster. I forced myself to slow down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. I pressed. A call started. The line rang once. Twice. Then dropped. No, no, no. I tried again. This time, it connected. A voice. Muffled, but real. Hello. I couldn't speak properly. I choked out.
Please, I'm trapped.
Help.
I can't get out. It's so
I'm
dark. Find
underground,
before it's too
please.
late.
The voice sharpened. Mira. It was Mira. My friend.
Hello,
My
emergency,
message
I
had
need help
reached her
right now.
earlier.
There's been an accident.
And she
Please
must
send
have been
someone.
trying to call me
Hurry,
back.
please.
I cried.
Help me, please. I'm trapped.
I whispered into the phone like my life depended on it.
Before it's too late.
Because it did. Mira. Daniel buried me, backyard. I can't breathe.
Hello, emergency. I need
Her
help
voice
right now.
turned into still.
There's been an accident. Please send
Stay with
someone.
me.
Hurry, please.
Don't hang up.
Hello, emergency. I need
I'm
help
calling
right now.
emergency.
There's been an accident.
I'm
Please
coming.
Send someone.
I
Hurry,
said,
please.
hurry.
Help me,
The
please.
call
I'm
cut
trapped.
off.
I can't get out.
My
It's so
screen went
dark.
black.
Find before it's too late.
No signal again. But I had done the smallest thing. I had reached someone. And that was the one thing Daniel forgot. He forgot that I had someone who would fight for me. The air down there was getting worse. Even with hope, your body still needs oxygen. My lungs felt like they were swallowing hot dust. My head began to feel light. My vision faded. I started to drift. I slapped my cheek with my shoulder. Stay awake. Stay awake. I tried to count. 1, 2, 3. But counting felt far. Like my mind was sliding away. Then, I heard it. Muffled voices. Far at first. Then closer. A third. A scrape. The digging was different now. This wasn't slow. This wasn't careful. This was desperate. This was rescue. I tried to scream. My voice came out weak. I banged the wood with my knuckles. Tap. 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 Again. Tap. 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 I heard someone shout. Here. Here. More digging. Fast. Louder. Then. Light. A crack. Fresh air rushed in. I inhaled like my body had been waiting for that moment for 1,000 years. I coughed. I cried. Hands grabbed me. Voices shouting. Mom, can you hear me? Yes, yes, please. My body shook. They pulled me up like I weighed nothing. Like I was just bones and fear. I saw the sky.
Thank you.
I saw faces. I saw Mira, crying, shaking, pointing. And behind the crowd, police. I tried to speak, but my throat was raw. Then I heard someone say, "He's trying to leave, stop him." I turned my head weakly. And I saw Daniel. At the edge of the street. Running. Running like a man whose plan failed. 2 officers tackled him. His face hit the ground. And the last thing I saw before my eyes rolled back was Daniel looking up. Not with regret, but with anger. As if I had inconvenienced him by surviving. When I woke up in the hospital, my hands were bandaged. My throat was sore. My eyes burned. Mira sat beside me, holding my fingers gently like she was afraid I would disappear.
I'm here with you.
She said, "You're safe."
For being here.
And I wanted to believe her. But safety felt like something I used to know in another life. A detective came later. He asked questions softly.
The details are crucial.
He said,
You know who
"We
did
have
this?
evidence."
We're close to the truth. Justice
Evidence.
is served. I've reviewed
That
your
word
statement.
felt
The
like
details are
power.
crucial. Do you know who did
Because
this?
for the
We're
first
close to
time,
the truth. Justice
I
is
wasn't just a victim.
I'm here with you.
I was a case.
Thank you for being here.
I was a file.
Always rest now.
I was a truth. Written down. They had the neighbor CCTV. Not the whole backyard. But enough. Enough to show Daniel moving something heavy. Enough to show him digging. Enough to show him leaving.
The details are crucial.
They also had my message to
We're
Mira.
close to the truth.
And they
Justice is
had the
served.
insurance
I've reviewed your
papers.
statement. The details
When
are
they
crucial.
questioned
Do you know
Daniel,
who did this? We're
he
close
tried to deny.
Justice will be served.
Then he tried to
Where were
cry.
you last night?
Then he tried to blame
I
me.
didn't do anything.
He was
I have a
stressed,
witness
he
who
said.
saw you.
I
He
swear
had
I
debts,
no
he
idea.
said.
You have to
He
believe me.
panicked,
I'm
he
begging
said.
you.
As if stress
I
is a
told
reason
you,
to
I wasn't
murder.
there. You're
As
twisting
if death is an
everything.
excuse for a grave.
Unbelievable. I want a lawyer
The
now.
detective looked at him
You know
and
what
said
you
something
did.
that still
Cooperate
echoes in
and
my
things will
mind.
go easier for you. This
Lots
is
of
your
people
only
have
chance.
debt. They
We
don't
know
bury
what you
their
did.
wives.
Cooperate and things
Daniel
will go
went
easier for
quiet
you.
after
This is
that.
your only chance.
And in that quiet, I saw him clearly for the first time. Not as my husband. Not as my love. But as a man who saw me as a solution. And when solutions don't work, people like him dispose of them. Surviving doesn't feel like a victory at first. It feels like confusion. It feels like your body is alive, but your mind is still underground. For weeks after, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I heard the shovel. Thud, thud, thud. Every time I breathed in, my throat remembered the dirt. Sometimes I would wake up choking. thinking I was buried again. People would say, "You're strong." But strength wasn't what saved me. It was preparation. It was instinct. It was one message to a friend. It was proof. It was timing. And it was the fact that Daniel made one mistake. He underestimated my connections. He underestimated my fear. He underestimated how loudly truth can scream when you send it to the right person. Months later, I sat in a courtroom. Daniel stood across from me in a suit that didn't fit him anymore.
Proceed, counsel.
He looked smaller. Not because he had changed, but because power had left him. He stared at me like he was trying to hypnotize guilt into my bones. Like he wanted me to feel responsible. But I didn't. Because once you see someone clearly, you can't unsee them.
Your Honor.
The judge read the charges.
Defendant was at the scene.
Attempted
Proceed,
murder,
Counselor.
kidnapping,
Your Honor.
fraud,
The evidence will show
conspiracy.
the defendant was at the scene. Proceed,
Daniel's
Counselor.
lawyer tried to soften it.
Your Honor, the
Tried to make it
prosecution's
sound
evidence
like a
is entirely
moment,
circumstantial. There is
a
no
breakdown,
direct proof linking my client
a
to the
mistake.
crime.
But my body remembers the box. My lungs remember the air running out. And I knew. It wasn't a moment. It was a plan. A cold, calculated plan. He didn't just want me gone. He wanted to profit from my disappearance. And that is not love. That is business. That is cruelty. That is evil wearing a wedding ring. If you're listening to me right now, I want to say something slowly. Because someone needs to hear it. Sometimes, the danger isn't the stranger outside. Sometimes, it's the person sleeping beside you. The person who knows your habits, your passwords, your schedule. The person who knows exactly how to make you doubt yourself. So if you notice patterns, if you notice secret calls, if you notice sudden insurance papers, if you notice midnight digging,
You need to listen.
don't ignore
This
it.
is important.
Don't wait for proof while you're being buried. Tell someone. Send evidence. Make noise. Because silence is what predators love. Silence gives them time. And time is all they need.
Let me ask you something. If you woke up at midnight and saw your partner digging in the backyard, what would you do? Would you confront them? Would you ignore it? Would you gather proof? Tell me in the comments. Because your comments might be the warning someone else needs. And if you want more real stories like this, subscribe. Because the next one might be even darker.